everyone, good morning. Welcome to The Witcher Crimson and Ash. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games. I am the aforementioned Salty.
And I'm
And
sweet.
these various assorted spices are our friends. Before we go around and say hello to everyone and hear a little bit about their characters and such, we have a few channel things to go through briefly. First of all, a ton of thanks to our sponsors. The first being Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We're part of their Indie Spotlight program, which highlights TTRPG creators all across the interwebs. It's great. Thank them. Thank them from us. Yes. For those of you who like your physical click-clacks and your chonky boys, we are affiliates with Dice Envy. You can go to their website and use the code SALTYSWEET, all caps one word, to get 10% off your order. They're making new dice all the time. They have wood, they have gemstone, they have your regular polymer sets, they have metal. It's very, very cool. Also, for those of you who need your fueling, like me, every Sunday morning at 8 a.m., we are partners with Grinding Coffee Co., a Black and LGBT plus owned company. They have all organic brews, they donate portions of their proceeds to charity, and overall they're really awesome. You can go to their website and use the code SALTYSWEETGAMES, all caps one word, to get 13% off your order. Nailed it. Also, if you feel like affecting the story, there are tip incentives down below if you'd like to save someone's life, potentially, start a rumor, or even give us loot, which we always appreciate. There are many good options down there. All this goes to support us in upkeeping the channel, doing new projects, and compensating our cast because we value their time, energy, and talent. Last thing, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, accent and no card, stars and wishes, and content warnings because while the characters may be put through hell, the players are here to have fun, and they're our priority always. Without further ado, we're going to go around and talk to everybody, introduce ourselves, find out who we're playing. I will start because I'm already talking. I'm Lauren. Yes. And I am playing Maggie the Cat. She is a criminal and a disaster queer, and I think that about sums. Oh, she's cursed. She's cursed, and she's trying to confront the people who cursed her and not kill them. Definitely not murder. Not doing a murder. What about you, Kiana?
I'm Kiana. My pronouns are she, they, and today I am playing Lupa, who is the resident witcher of the crew, who uses they, them pronouns. They are generally tired, generally just uncomfortable with stuff, and just want to do the job. Unfortunately, this job is not great that they're on right now, with people who want to kill them and have been trying to kill them for, I think we put it as like 50 years. So, just having to deal with a 50-year-old grudge that they are at no fault for other than just existing as themselves. Wee!
Good. And we have our Lindy back. Hi, Lindy.
You got your Lindy back. I missed this terribly. The company was trying to sabotage me for weeks. Well, it didn't exist for a couple weeks, and then they were trying to sabotage me for weeks. So it was a conjoined effort between Hurricane Sally, the internet provider. But I'm back, and I'm very happy to be here. I'll be playing Thornton Ann Brockvar, the Skelliger sorceress, and just nice person, generally speaking, with no issues or problems or anyone she doesn't want to see. And, she's just great. She loves parties.
Good. Yeah, we're all very convincing this morning.
So
and
convincing.
now I will turn it over to Hans. Our Bart is not here with us today. She's totally good and will be back with us next week. But we love our Katie. Hans, take it away.
Okay, so last time, which is going to be really weird for Lindy because she has no idea what we're talking about, but that's okay. Last time, the gang took part in a party at the home of Igar and Iona, parents of Scylla. Scylla found herself confronted by Eldon, her fiance, whom she punched in the face, and who left without remark. Marjorie Lalvin, the crime grandma, who has attempted to kill Lupa, decided to forgive Lupa for living and give them the opportunity to make things square by getting rid of the Ruby Stole, some unknown being that has killed several noble women and men in the Gildorf area. Maggie cased the Vol estate looking for vulnerabilities, and in the light of day, Novigrad is busy and loud, drowning out suspicions and whispers. So we're going to start out with this like real brief scene. Maggie, where do you think you're perched out looking over the Vol estate? What's that look like?
I think Maggie climbed up onto a neighboring roof. Like, I imagine, and tell me if I'm wrong, that the Vol estate has like a wall, like a proper wall around it.
Yep.
So she doesn't want to get too close yet, so she probably used that to climb on top of the nearest building where she wouldn't be easily spotted. Although I don't think at this point she really cares if she is.
Yeah,
She's
and
annoyed
of course,
with them.
once we start talking about this, I swear that we described this exact scenario last time. So thank you for helping me dial back in.
Totally.
So the Vol estate, we've got this big wall, and they have a proper wall. They don't have an Igar and Iona wall. They have a wall that you would have to climb over, and then there would be pointy things on top, so that while you climb over, you would injure yourself.
Perfect.
They also have a fairly large set of hedgerows and so forth inside. Very boring, not shaped like anything interesting, just flat rectangular hedges. It looks beautiful and manicured and carefully kept up, which is why it's such a surprise when you see coming to the front gate and not being turned away a very large and very dirty beggar.
Mm-hmm.
And they exchange some words with the two guards at the gate and are allowed inside.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
Sus.
so they start going towards the house, and then instead of going up to the front gates like one might, they walk around the side towards the back. You can see them very easily from the vantage point you have, and they're headed towards what looks to be a side entrance or a servant's entrance. And they crouch on the stoop, and as they look up and around like they're trying to make sure they're not being followed, you catch a glimpse of a face. I already announced the cast, but now for anybody who's watching with us, we have recast the character of Brand of Oxenfurt.
No.
He has been recast as Rory McCann. He is no longer Robbie Coltrane because screw that. So we're just going to move on. And now we have Rory McCann as this large, like, mound of a person draped in a very dark brown, like a burlap or a sackcloth, dirty, smudged, sitting on the stoop, shaking slightly. Kiana put it better than I could because I have kids in the house in the room right now. So with that, moving on.
We do all of Han's cursing.
I really do appreciate it. It gets me in so much less trouble. Thank you. So, a second later, you get the sleepy, like, tousled hair of another ginger member of... You haven't met this person before, but you would know them by face. They have a very thin, angular face, kind of like a triangular chin. Their hair does a little sweepy mop. And they are right now dressed in the long nightgown of a noble person. So this is a man wearing a nightshirt that goes down to like his ankles with like a very open V at the top. And now that he's been roused out of his sleep, comes up and he is exchanging words quietly with this character. And it doesn't stay quiet for long. After a moment, it starts to get kind of loud. And then this nobleman reaches out and slaps down at this person where he hits him across the face and neck, and they like crouch down, fall down the stairs a little bit, and he's shouting and pointing down at this person, and then walks back inside. Comes back outside, he's got a pouch in his hand, like a leather pouch, and he throws it down on the ground, and you see gold coins start to spill everywhere. And he walks back inside.
I don't know how Maggie has food, but she's been like popcorn eating the whole time.
Maggie is always prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is part of their profession. The door slams loudly, enough that you can hear it from where you're at. And this beggar gathers up these coins and starts scurrying back towards the gates. Out into the street. We're going to pause for reaction shot, and then we'll do our switch over.
Yeah, I think Maggie just starts to tail Dran.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see what happens with that later. But our long shenanigan commitment here is we have to find out what happened at the party for Thrin. And I think we may see some flashing back scenes in which we find out things happened with Maggie and Lupa, but if not, well, we'll at least find out what happened with Thrin. So as we get back into this, I have to figure out how I switch music, which I have done. And so Thrin. So Lindy, we last saw Thrin in like the hours preceding the party, where everybody was getting ready, which was mostly setting traps and looking for hidden passages.
Oh.
That's how we get ready for a party around here.
Yeah.
So how has Thrin been preparing for this party?
I think Thrin, besides just, aesthetically getting ready for this party, I think she's investigating the room she's in. Because Sila's parents basically were like, yeah, we're fucking spies. Like, right in front of all of us. And so she's like, okay.
Right.
Any, like, eye holes and just, places where the walls are especially thin for eavesdropping. She's just investigating her room for privacy's sake.
Okay. Do you
In case any important conversations need to happen or teleportations. Yeah. She wants the room secure.
That makes total sense to me. Are we going to call that awareness, or are we going to call that something different?
I think that's awareness.
Let's do that.
All right. Okay. Ah, no.
No,
Excellent.
no, that can't be how you come back. No.
It's a 9.
Okay, but let me argue this. If you were going to fail a roll, wouldn't you want it to be the roll that assures you privacy in your own room for later on in these scenes?
Maybe. I don't know. I have one reroll. See, because Thrin's line of thinking, I'm going to say this even though I can't see Katie's face, is, well, if Sila said that guy was a mage, and that was a lie, what are her spy parents going to do if they find out that I'm an actual mage?
Sure.
So...
That's valid.
But I think we'll just stick with the crit and maybe see what happens. I don't know, the crit fail.
Okay.
You're chloroformed. I know it in my heart.
It's going to be by Maggie, though, so... Well, so the room seems fine.
Yeah, the room's fine.
Definitely spies. They're definitely not spying on you. They would never do that.
They would never. Why would they spy on me?
No, you're not that interesting, I guess, or something like that. So, okay. So
I'm just from Skellige. No one cares about people from Skellige.
You like boats. That's everything we know about you as a
But that's all you gotta know. I like boats.
Well, with that in mind, what do we want to have? What kind of prep is there for Thrin? Is it just getting dressed?
I think aside from getting dressed and inspecting the room, she's just gonna be looking for, finding her way down to the ballroom. She's assuming that's where most of the events are going to take place, and then multiple different routes back from there to her room. So it's a lot of like, can I get there this way? Okay, can I get there? Just in case she's got a GTFO for some reason. Or like, I don't know, gang leader swearing revenge for 50 years or other things, poison. I don't know. Might need to get to your room quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what content warnings are for. That makes sense. So I would like to propose, do you think that Thrin got to the ballroom early, or do you think Thrin got to the ballroom a little bit later?
I think for like round 1 and 2 of like navigating, it was probably while she was still kind of getting ready and it was early. And then then she investigated the room and then was like, okay, one more go. And then it would have been a little later.
Yeah. Has anybody besides me ever been the person who arrives so early to a party that the only thing you can do is awkwardly mill around the building and just try to figure out what else you can do with yourself?
All the time,
all right.
Hans.
So, thank you for making me feel less lonely in that.
We need to go to a party together so we can not do that.
Right. I mean, that's the whole point of bringing people to the party with you, so you don't have to do that as much. But
Exactly.
you can also explore for hidden rooms like this is going. I think here's what happens. We know that at some point Thrin came and went out of the ballroom a couple times. That's probably earlier than Lupa wanted to show up, and probably earlier than Maggie did show up. So you've like made a circuit, and things have kind of like gone on, and you've started to map out the hidden routes and so forth, and you're getting an idea of where things are in this building. You go back to your room, you check it. There's no secret passages, nothing surprising there. You head out a different way, and you're like trying to move around. What's Thrin's reaction when she sees a very awkward coupling in the middle of the hallway? There's a very tall nobleman who I'm just going to break through face claim as Sting, and there is a much shorter person.
No.
And well, you know what? It takes all kinds.
No, that's not what I'm reacting to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, height disparity, gross.
Gross height disparity.
Lauren just hates short people. It's fine.
Yep, me
You can
and
say it.
That's
whole
definitely where we were going.
5'3".
You say to the 5-foot person. I understand. Kian and I get it.
Yeah, it's the three of us are all short.
Do you want to clarify the EU before we go on, or should we just keep powering through this?
No, I think
I thought it was maybe Madeline.
Oh, no.
Okay, then I don't care.
Nope, I have a different
so it was
person in
you.
mind.
He's tall. Got it.
Yeah, he's Sting tall. I think I'm gonna imagine Sting's like 6 foot something.
I don't know how tall Sting is, but now I want to.
Well, let's all Google.
Okay,
how tall
it's
Sting
someone
is.
else.
I'm gonna let you all
5'11".
do that. but, well,
You're not. He's
oh,
very
dang,
tall.
okay.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So he's a reasonable
person's
height.
hot.
That's a good height for people. But he is in this case. There's like interesting camera work going on or something like that because he is engaged with a person who is quite a bit shorter than him.
Happens.
And yeah, this is a dwarven woman who is being face claimed by a lady named Alan Sumarwada, who I do not know, but I like this like undercut and swept over hairdo thing she's got going in a lot of these pictures. So that's the direction I'm going with this.
Okay.
So
How close am I by the time I notice this awkward coupling?
you tell me, but it is occupying most of the turning part of a hallway, like a curve, and does not seem to be something they're interested in breaking up at any point.
Yeah. I imagine that the hallways, imagine Sila's parents' house has some really twisty hallways for nooks such as these, and then some just stately grand ones that are just wide open. And I imagine this is one of
We're
those
in
twisty,
the first one.
nook riddled hallways.
Well, you know the easy way to get to the Grand Hall, and now this is the other way, and it has become occupied.
Yeah, Thrin really wants to know the other way though, so I think because it's so twisty, she's not very far. Maybe 10 feet when she turns the corner and sees this. I think she's just gonna pull out a book and just pretend she's not seeing it and just keep going by.
Okay, so
Just hugging that other wall.
Is there an actual book? Or is this just? Are you just going to do this with your hands and pretend you're reading?
No, she has an actual book because I imagine she's not quite party ready. She's the person at a party who sometimes just wants to sit and read and be like, I'm here. But this seemed like a weird party that was going to happen, and I'm not sure how involved I want to get. So she brought like a fluffy book from one of the libraries, I imagine, like something lighthearted, and just like.
So here is what I'm proposing to you. I am proposing to body check Thrin against the wall as she passes by these people, and I believe that it would require you to dodge escape.
That's fair.
Well, the good news is I fumbled. So
the
That is
news.
good news. All right, dodge escape.
Well, let's see if okay, so I got a 7. So you have to beat a 7 as a dodge escape. Well, that's good.
I did.
That's good. Okay. So yeah, that didn't work out. You didn't get somehow entangled there. So there's that.
Oh good. That would have been awkward.
That was what they were going for, was awkward. So that didn't happen. So you have managed to make it around this duo and down the hallway. The other thing that's interesting about here is there's a landing, and you find out that on the inside of the front door, this is like that little entryway room that you'd been before. There's like a little nook, and there's a person here tuning a dulcimer, and she has her head down, and she's got like some sort of very fancy braid that I'm sure Thryn can appreciate.
Mhm.
And the person standing next to her is wearing a white shirt with like a broad collar, a very long sweeping open V. Pardon me as I cough from coffee grounds in my throat.
Oh no.
And has like a dollop of very sandy brown hair on top of his head, the thinnest of mustaches, and the smokiest eyes humanly possible. The sort of person you have not seen in a while, but would be hard to forget.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Philip of Redania, as he tunes the key on his mandolin.
I think Thryn regrets wanting to know the non-direct route back to the rooms, but now she's trapped between the awkward snogging couple in the hallway behind her that tried to entangle her in that, and what lies before her. And I don't think she knows what to do for a moment. I think she's like, well, I can't face that again. That would just be really awkward if I went back. I mean, it would seem like I'm actually interested if I walked back into that snog fest behind me. So I think she just pulls back out the book and goes for like this approach. Like, oh man, my nose is just so buried in this book as she's walking by. It worked the first time, it might work again if she walks quickly.
Philip of
I say it
Redania
works the
stops
first time.
tuning the lute or the mandolin and like just like puts it down, and there's like a musical like clunk as it like hits the ground kind of awkwardly.
Yeah.
His hand to his chest, he says, "My muse." Thank you. That was exactly the
This is going to be me and Lauren dying in the background.
Yeah,
while
just like
Cap-
He's just, yes, this is all reaction gifts for the rest of the episode. It's so great.
Great, we've got it. Now just loop it. I think she knows the game is up at that point, and she goes, "Oh, Philip, I didn't even notice you there. I was so engrossed in this book I was reading."
You might not have noticed me, but I would notice you anywhere. Look, I can just look up cheesy pickup lines this entire stream.
Yeah.
I can just Google this.
I had no idea you were in Novigrad. Thought you were, elsewhere, traveling for... Wow, you're at the same party that I happen to be at. That is a coincidence.
I would say fate.
Thryn knows better than to say, don't believe in fate, because magic stuff. She knows this witcher called Geralt who's just tempts it all the time and doesn't want to do that. So she's like, well, it looks like you're awful busy tuning your instrument there. And then she kind of winces because it sounded way lewder than she meant it to, but maybe her brain's just in that place. She's like, I'll
it's definitely
leave you
not
to it. I'd just be at the party. Nice to see you.
No, I think Louise will be fine without me. And he just turns to Louise, and Louise is like this blonde lady who like looks up and is like, what the heck? And just
I give her,
and
I
she's
give her
like
a
giving her
look
very earnest eyes.
that that fellow women understand of like, oh god, it's him.
So dulcimer is like one of these stringed instruments where you have to play it with little like hammers. Just for context, in case anybody in the audience is not familiar, she just goes like bang, and it just like resonates for a second there, and just like looks back to what she's doing.
She's not going to help me. That's fine. Like, oh well. I was just going to get some refreshments and observe. Traveling
Philip
with
holds his hand out towards you.
Oh, it'd be rude
Come,
not to.
let me take you to where the refreshments are. I would love to hear everything about your travels.
Well, it's been quite gruesome, actually. I've been traveling with a witcher. We've been fighting all sorts of things, like foglets
It
and
sounds like a ballad.
centipedes. No, less of a ballad, more of just maybe like a book written format or something.
I am quite good with prose as well. I would be happy to hear more about your story. Perhaps we can find a way to properly commemorate it.
Perhaps. we'll have to see, though. We do have to be social at this event. It is a party, so socializing is encouraged highly.
You ever been to a
Amongst a
party
lot
at
of
this
people.
estate before?
No.
I have, and I think I know what to expect from the audience.
Oh. Well, let's just find out then, won't we? It'll be exciting. It's the dread. Just fills.
Yep.
I think
That's
at
all
this
there.
point, she's keeping her eyes out for people she knows.
Well, you're in like this alcove, which is very
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
in general.
Mhm.
And then secondarily, there is like a larger hallway, which Philip is trying to guide you into
Yep. Mhm.
for better or for not better.
Yep. She'll go to the bigger hallway. She doesn't want to be in a tight enclosed space at this moment.
That's very fair. The real question is, are you going to take this outstretched hand that Philip is offering you?
It would be rude not to. And Thrin is nothing if not polite.
You can continue telling yourself that as long as you would like to. And as Philip of Redania like leads you out into the hallway,
I mean,
he
when has
passes
Thrin
several
not
very
been polite?
No, that's true. That's very fair. Philip passes by several waiters with drinks and
Mhm.
walks through the main hallway into the side
I
room,
definitely
which-
take one.
Oh, that's good.
She's gonna
Because
need
he's
it.
walking you to the musical refreshments room, so at least
Okay.
you got a beverage on your way there.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
gone by the time we get to the refreshments table. Just
Yeah, and I think maybe like as this goes, we get like in the distance a shot of Lupa receding out of the banquet room as you walk in.
mm-hmm.
Just to like keep some context, this is all happening in real time. All these people were definitely in the same party at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things like when you watch those spy movies and you're like, where was so and so? And then it's just in passing, you just miss.
Speaking of which, to pass some time in the scene and just to like break things up, I would love to have a couple reaction shots of this like hammered dulcimer only music going on. Like maybe we get Maggie and the thief Madeline that she had met earlier in the night,
Yeah.
like talking about music. So if I recall, you all are like poised by the front entrance and you're like talking near one of these like little makeout alcoves and you both have like flutes of wine. How do you feel about this dulcimer music, Maggie?
Is that good quality? Is that normal?
I don't know. I know nothing about music, to be frank.
No, neither do I. Why would you waste your time learning about music? Don't tell my best friend that. You don't know her. Wait, you do. We talked about this. Don't tell her.
Right, but I mean, there's more important things to do, like, you know, figure out where the valuables are in a
Right,
building.
and like practice picking locks.
Right. But I mean, if you were to take down those two very large, mostly nude oil paintings, I mean, that would be a couple 100 crowns each.
Really?
I
There's
mean, you could at least
so...
ransom them back, don't you think?
I suppose, and you know what? They would do it. They wouldn't even question it. They'd just be like, sure, would love to help you out.
Yeah, well, rich people.
Yeah. They're not so bad, these two, I guess.
I'm not going anywhere near them. I don't even want to guess what they get up to.
No, I'm sure it's fine.
This is like
if,
a pan over.
Yeah. No, like if it would be, I mean, they're pretty... I think it would be fine. Like if I went and sat by them, I think it would be totally normal. No one's mum's hand would caress my thigh. I'm pretty sure.
Pan over to like the couple are reclining on the chaise, and there's like another lady who's like feeding them both grapes, like one at a time.
God.
Yeah, they seem totally normal. You're right.
I mean, there are worse rich people in the world, is all I'm saying.
No, you're right. There's a lot worse rich people in the world everywhere. Yeah.
So we'll just leave their nudes on the wall.
All right, good point. And Madeline goes back to drinking wine. And maybe we'll cut to a reaction shot across the room see what Lupa's doing. Lupa, you are stuck in the awkward place where all of your friends are making small talk with other people, and you are wandering a party by yourself. And it is so real that it makes my heart hurt. This is for me, not for you. I'm just saying, yes,
yeah.
I am that person. I am Lupa at this moment as they are enjoying all of this. So, Lupa, can I offer you an awkward conversation with a stranger?
Sure, why not? I think during this entire time, like their ears have been kind of flicking with the hammer music that's going on right now. They could probably like each note is like another twitch of the ear.
Yeah, I guess Lupa would be the most discerning music critic of everyone. So the good news is, other than a few very strident hits on this that started this whole thing out, it's mostly pleasant and mellow, but it is an instrument where you hit a thing with a little felted hammer. So yeah. Well, so you have received something from the buffet. I don't know what exactly you were thinking Lupa might want.
I don't even know. I think they just kind of pick stuff up and probably examine it because this is much fancier than they ever really normally eat, and just kind of put it on the plate. Kind of go, all right, I guess I'll try this. It's really awkward time at the buffet table.
Yeah. So as you move out of the room in that shot that Thren just saw, there's kind of a large blocky person. This is based on the actor Mark Stanley. That's the face claim. But I really think of it as being a series of rectangles. He has a big long rectangle body, and then his head is roughly rectangular, almost square. He has a very square jaw. But I'm not saying he's unattractive or anything like that. He's very square. So with that, this person with a little bit of ginger hair, it's a little bit wavy coming back, just looks at Lupa and says, this is again awkward small talk happening at the buffet, but just looks down. He's wearing, by the way, a blue a suit jacket that's crushed velvet with just a little bit of lace here at the top, and looks at Lupa and says, is that any good? The thing that is on your plate is what he seems to be pointing at.
Oh. He lifts it back up and sniffs it.
Mm-hmm. Smells kind of gamey.
Yeah. I don't know I was gonna try it out.
I was thinking about trying that one, but I didn't. These little shrimp. Those are pretty good.
The lip of the sharks. I mean, not very filling, but
yeah. Just how small all the food is.
Yeah, kind of looks around at the table of all these tiny little finger food situations. Not really the main focus of this place.
They got all the food's this big, and all the drinks are this big. I don't know.
Looks around to the room around him and goes, yeah, definitely not the main focus.
Okay, so I'll go try one of those things. And he starts walking off towards the buffet.
Yes.
Just
I think Lupa at this point finally just eats it. Takes they don't really take delicate nibbles. It's not what they do. It's just kind of.
It's fairly flavorful and something made with a wild game. So that could be a good or a bad description depending on how you feel about those things.
I think it's pretty oh, okay. Nothing to write home about.
You've now had, right?
Yeah. This is an experience that I've now had. This is an awkward party.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure we got at least one good awkward party conversation in there. So great. Well, let's go back into that refreshment room, the buffet room, and Thren, how's the whole Philip of Redania situation going?
I think she's looking for people she knows, and somehow she doesn't see any of them. This is a large room, but she doesn't know how she doesn't see anybody she knows, but she's like, that's just my luck. But she's being polite because he's never been, rude. He's just a little weird, little crazed.
obsessed, one might say. Yeah.
Obsessed, potentially. So, but he's never done anything or been improper. So she's just like, ugh. And just goes to the refreshments table and then takes this opportunity to pick up a small plate and be like, oh, now I don't have to be on his arm anymore because she's got her refreshments. She's getting it, picking up all the tasty looking things. And she even gets a drink and is like, oh, could you hold this for me? So that he has his hands busy too. And so it's just all the hands are full of food and drinks and no one can do anything.
For continuity's sake, I just want to point out in the background while all this is going on, some guy walks by wearing like hunting attire, just like stomps through into the main room. You see him pass by the main what's the term I'm looking for? Like the main entrance. So that happened. That's like done now.
Oh yeah.
Eldon has now gone through.
I remember this.
Okay. And so then I think she's gonna try to like bring other people into the conversation, like other people, because she did all that reading on like fancy people in Novigrad, nobility. So if she maybe recognizes some, be like, oh, be social, come over here, join this, let's make a group conversation.
Do you want to go ahead and make a charisma check maybe, or do you think this is something else?
Since I'm trying to bring people into the conversation, I don't think it's social etiquette. This probably would be charisma. So, let's see. I'm trying to pull them in. Like, reel them in.
And you can take a +2 for this because you have figured out who all of these people are, perhaps.
17.
All right, good stuff.
Once I reel them in, I can use my social etiquette, but I gotta reel them in first.
So let's see how well Philip of Redania can imply that people should go away. Oh. Okay. Well,
No.
Wow.
so you're stuck in this very like awkward loop with someone who's very good at this and knows all of these people personally.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you start trying to bring some people into the conversation, and Philip Redania has like a combination of like eye signals and like subtle body language.
I feel like it's one of those things.
Trying to
where it's like we're walking along, and I'm like, oh, you must be Lord So and So, and they're like, yes. Oh, I see someone over there. I'm like, oh, okay, bye. And I just don't know why. It
Philip
keeps
is back here
happening
like making hand signals, like get out of here, you. It's great.
Yep.
Oh man, and it continues like that for a while, and this is just going to be like a time-consuming scene that kind of like lets things
But I think
play
near the
out.
end of it, she's like, people aren't terribly social at this event. It would seem. That's not the impression I was getting from hearing descriptions of it earlier.
Philip is like fiddling with the top of his blouse, and he's like, well, there's only really 2 reasons people come to this event. One is to mingle, and there are some suggestive hand gestures, and number 2,
Mingle. Like that kind of suggestive, or was that too much, Hans?
This kind?
there are so many different suggestive hand gestures. He's so fluent with his hands, he's probably made them all by this point.
And you probably don't even realize it just looks like some gesture, but he's made all of them.
Number 2 is there's going to be some dancing in just a moment.
I think between the option of mingling and dancing, she's like, oh, well, I do enjoy dancing.
That's so wonderful to hear. I recall you interested in dancing.
Yes. Though I'm fairly certain that it's not going to be the Skelliger variety of dancing here. I'll try to keep up.
So we have to give it a couple beats here as things like roll through.
Just
In the
slowly
background here,
finish what's left on my plate.
you made a really good like time. You spent the time well, and the good news is you missed all this stuff where people came by in the background. Like 4 ladies came in. There was some drama. They're gone. Some other people have left for various reasons. And now, when we start hearing like again little tuning sounds, this time it's not dulcimer sounds. It sounds like somebody else has picked up a mandolin or a fiddle or something like that. And Philip goes, "It must be that time." And he puts his hand out towards you again.
Yeah, I think whatever drink she's on now, she just finishes it real quick and then puts it on one of the passing waiters' trays, and then.
Yep.
Yes, that's
And we walk into the main room, and the chaise has been removed, and all the furniture has been pulled out of the way, and those two very large portraits are still on the wall, because I love to point that out all the time. That's just my thing I do. But now
They're
with the
great
dulcimer,
portraits. I want those on my wall.
yeah, that's what everybody needs is semi-nude portraits of themselves on their wall when they're
Yep.
rich. Yeah. So we've got
I
over
won
in
the lottery.
corner-
That's what I do.
You know what? That's not far from the truth, probably. So there's a person with a dulcimer who is still
Yes.
Luis, and then there's another person with like a fiddle, and now the floor is open wide. Yeah, it's such good Lauren energy.
Thank you.
You gotta look up, Lindy. Oh, you missed it.
Yes. Yes, if only Maggie was seeing any of this.
That's
Just
right. But there were
Other
events.
circles.
So we're going to move on to where we are at. Now there is dancing, and there are several people that have ended up here on the dance floor. One is the rectangular gentleman that I mentioned earlier. He is dancing with like the maximum number of feet of distance between him and the person he is dancing with, who is Madeline,
seems nice.
that Maggie was speaking with earlier.
Wait, who's Madeline
Um,
dancing with?
She's dancing with Rectangle Man. But
Who?
it's more like, the guy that I described Lupa having the awkward food conversation with earlier.
Oh.
But
mhm.
they're dancing like they're at a church dance, and
Yeah.
his arms are out all the way like this, and she's like all the way back here. It's like very distant.
She's also
There is no chemistry there whatsoever,
Not
and it's
into
possible he might be losing some things in his pockets while this is going on. It's not totally clear. So there's that happening.
Queen.
Number two, our Sting and Dwarven Woman mismatched height couple are back.
Oh no.
they have a-
I don't make
they
eye
have-
contact with them at all.
They have such a handsy dance. They are like real into each other. So that's happening.
Good.
Igar and Iona are gone for whatever
Oh.
reason. That's just not in this
No
scene.
wonder.
But you know, the people that everyone's really going to look at are Philip of Redania, renowned bard, and this mystery woman who
Oh,
is
no.
also there. And I do not think that people have heard the dress that Thrin is wearing at this point.
Yes.
I don't
tell
think we've
us.
done that in at least 2 episodes.
No. Okay, so it is. She kind of got the, dresses were brought and presented to her, and she caught onto the theme of the attire pretty quick. And she decided, well, maybe I won't really. She picked the least advertising. It's still a really classy dress, so it's like a semi-sheer white number with a cinched waist, very flowy skirt, high neck, tiered poofy sleeves with a high wrist cuff, and just embroidered and beaded, and it's very pretty. And if she had known Philip was going to be here, she probably wouldn't have picked white because of that line he has in his song of being chaste, which she hates. But it's already happened, so she's just this glowing white little beacon on the dance floor. And her hair isn't up in her typical snood. It's all fancy and braided with probably little pearl pins pushed in.
That's very nice. I like that a lot. What do we think dancing is as a skill? I'm going to argue right now it's either social etiquette or grooming and style. It could be
Yeah.
performance. I mean, what do we think it is?
I would say probably social etiquette, because a lot can be conveyed via dance.
Okay.
And it
okay.
is at typically social functions of the nobility.
So, yeah, I mean, I feel like any of those could work well. So let's
right.
go for this.
Social
All right.
etiquette.
Who is going to step on whose feet right now?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're
Damn.
doing so good. We're doing so good. So why is Thrin so good at dancing?
Because she's had to be previously.
Okay.
Her mentor, when he was teaching her things, social things, because she wasn't going to get that training from Aretuza, he took her to a bunch of functions in Nilfgaard and a couple other smaller countries. Not like the big courts that a lot of the sorceresses go to, but a lot of smaller private noble events where she could be instructed and learn how to dance the dance, walk the walk, talk the talk.
So knowing that that's how that's all going, here's the real question. What is Thrin's body language like with this?
Yeah, what are
Elegant.
conveying.
Elegant.
Just
Yeah.
grace and elegance.
Okay. Philip is also very good at dancing because this is something that he does often. His body language is sensual, for lack of a better word. He's like putting, I know. You only say these things to make Kiana make faces, I swear. I feel so bad. But realistically, he wants to put a little bit of extra movement into everything.
Extra. He's extra. I mean, that's just...
Yes. I mean, some people are bards and some people are not, and he is a bard. So, yeah, he's just like... yeah, I think for him, he's just like, he's got this thing where like when he moves, he tries to like shake his shoulder a little bit, or he like puts a little hip into it, you know, a graceful caress of the hand, nothing too untasteful, but he's definitely, he's going for it.
I think to anyone watching and seeing the both sides, it'd be like, okay, pursuing and aloof.
Yes.
But both very graceful, yeah.
So yeah, it's just he's trying his best. He's really just anyways.
Yeah.
So we will continue the dancing for a couple songs, and then to make things more mortifying, since all of your friends have abandoned you, the music changes to a key that you know in your bones, because he is beginning the Thrin song.
Oh no.
Yes, and you didn't even catch the cue where he like threw this over to Luis to like play the song.
I think if he looks like he's going to start singing the song, she's like, Philip, it's a bit warm in here after all that dancing. Maybe we could step out on the balcony for a moment.
He pets his like poof of hair and says like, of course, and just like, I gotta figure out where my camera is. There it is. And just like puts his hand out to you to like lead you off into the porch, into the gardens.
Like, oh good, he's not gonna sing it. He's not gonna sing it because I dragged him away. And she's has a moment where it was very panicky.
And as you, of course, exit out onto the porch, he begins singing the song because he can still hear the music and he knows every part of this so very well. But he's doing it low and to you, not to everyone.
That's right, you made me a song. How could I forget?
I know I never could forget. Etched in my heart.
Why is that, Philip?
Well, Thrin, you are simply unforgettable. Thank you, Ron.
Are you really? Because you travel so often to all these places, and you see all of these beautiful, noble women and women in general, and just lots of other people. You really haven't fancied any of them.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's certainly something. What about me inspired you to make me your muse? She's just trying to figure this out now, because if not now, then when? Maybe she can shut it down. Maybe she can get him to realize that, like, you know...
Sure, I apologize for going directly to the song lyrics to make sure this is as apt as possible. Why, Thrin, your eyes are without compare.
I'm gonna pull from the Swan Princess. Yes, you've called me very beautiful, but what about personality-wise? You know, what else is there besides beauty?
Thrin, there is something about you, your personality, the inner Thrin, the thing within that I know that there is something there so pure and so unique. You are one amongst the millions. If there are millions, how many people are there?
Probably millions. In the world, yes. She just starts to get that headache. When she's dealing with someone. She's just not getting very far. All right. I don't even know where to go from here. Philip, I turned you down the last time we saw each other. Right? Remember that?
Dude, but Thren, I feel like our relationship is just one of those things that ages. Like wine, like a fine spirit. It just wasn't ready yet.
Lauren's reaction.
Listen, sometimes things just get caught in my throat.
Sometimes you just can't stay on mute that long. Sometimes your finger just slips
I
and you have to say
can't.
something.
Sometimes you can't. Just like,
This is how live theater should be, let's face it.
you do know how old I am, right?
Thren, I know you've lived so many things, but even if it's just for a moment, for me, it would be an eternity.
And this is when she gets a terrible idea. Well, I don't know if I've told you about the curse. Have I?
What curse is that?
Well, you see, I just know, this being Silas' parents' house, there is like a fainting couch out on this porch. This
Absolutely.
balcony.
I mean, yeah,
Sure.
all the stone furniture is like all found fainting couches.
A
Sure.
fainting couch.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
what people do. They
fainting
faint out
couch.
here.
Yep.
Mhm, yeah.
They at least swoon.
They certainly get on
I'm
their
sure.
backs.
And I think she'll kind of like sit and lean a bit and be like, well, you see, Philip, the reason I've turned you down last time was because I'm cursed terribly. Have been for a very long time. Everyone I've ever loved that I've been in a relationship with has tragically died from the curse.
Out of character, where do we want this to hit? What's your goal for this?
Maybe scare him a little bit.
Okay, cool. What do you want to roll to make this happen?
Like, appeal to his bardic sensibilities of like, yes, I understand, but this can never be because I'm cursed.
Yep. So,
and you would
this,
die. It would be so tragic, and you couldn't even write songs about it because you'd be dead, basically. Like,
That's very fair. What skill do you think you are using to frighten away
Gosh.
Philip of Redania?
Gosh, she had that good talk with Lupa and Maggie, so I don't think it's like a persuasion because I think she's trying to get out there. But
I'm gonna say if you feel like this is just straight up lying, I think it's deceit. If you
I
feel
feel
like
like
you were going to
it's-
use magic words to frighten him away, I could argue you using your magic training on him.
I don't have any mentally affecting spells like that.
I mean more like if you're
So-
trying to use, like if you were a doctor trying
Oh.
to explain scary cancer terms to a way that would really scare people. Like something like
I
that.
think if it was a real curse, she would
But you
try
know-
to do that.
But you know that Thren could totally talk her way out of this using words that he will not understand.
Yeah, she'd be like, the ley lines. I was at one point. It just
Yep.
the stars were not unaligned, and yeah, and she's going to, she'll try to magic mumbo jumbo it and hope he doesn't research anything.
Yes.
Um,
Thank you. That's perfect.
And I'm going to
Sounds
use
so
my
good.
luck.
Okay. Well, you don't necessarily have to do that. Let's see how the roll shows
Okay,
out. But
that's
I'm
true,
going to
that's
use
true.
education to resist this.
Ah.
All right. Cool. Excellent. That's exactly what we want. Okay.
Okay. She'd be like, it's
Philip's
because I'm
eyes
tragically,
look-
terribly cursed, Philip.
He looks off into the middle distance in a way that looks gently dazed, and then his hand raises to his breast, and he seems very, overcome with emotion for a moment as he looks off in the distance so that you can see that Dacre Montgomery has the best eyes and the most perfect jawline and things like that. He just looks so wounded, and he says, "Thren, I had no idea you were so terribly beset."
It's why I turned you down. I couldn't bear the thought of you dying.
If we weren't in Novigrad, I might be able to ask a sorceress or someone who knew more about these things if there was a way you could be cured. But here, of all places,
I know it'd be too dangerous.
But, and he clenches his shirt so that like the collar gets pulled together, and he's like very obviously overcome with emotion. But I must.
No, not here.
Thryn,
Not in
I'm
Novigrad.
Not now, not here. But I need to find out
I've
if there's
part
anything.
of my travels with this witcher
can
that I've
do.
been doing is trying to solve the curse, because witchers are excellent curse breakers. So
And you can trust me with this. I will find, and he stands up dramatically, I will find a way for us to be together.
your life is too short. I don't
He
want you
catches up
to
your hand in his
waste
and
that
places
time.
a kiss upon the back of your hand.
You should just focus on your career. I will investigate this. It's
I will do what
more
I can.
my line of work.
I must leave you now.
All right.
We know the men aren't listening, right? So they're just leaving.
Yeah.
So with that, he says, I will return, and dramatically runs to the doors, throws them open, enters into the grand hall. You've set him on a quest now.
Well, at least I don't have to deal with him for a while, and he probably will
Well.
never find the cure to that curse. So, rip.
Yep.
I think she just stands on the balcony for a few minutes, like, holy shit, that actually worked. And then she goes back in, and I think she looks, maybe goes over to that dulcimer lady and says, "Did you see where Philip went?"
She's like busy playing the song, and she's like motions with her head towards the door,
Towards, like, the front door, like the
the
exit.
front door. Like, yeah.
Thank you. And
Hmm.
she just goes and has a drink, and this one she sips, and she's like, he's not here. And then I think she goes and has a maybe another nice dance before maybe just still not seeing any of her friends, maybe just
Cool. Yes.
going to her room.
So why don't you go ahead and make an awareness roll? Your very nice next
Yes.
dance is going to be with Rectangle Man, and I'm just
Oh,
curious if
wonderful.
you notice anything missing on him.
Sure.
So you seem to recall that this person had like a fairly elaborate gold, like like some sort of like decoration that came down from buttons to pockets and so forth before. He looks quite a bit poorer now as he's dancing with you.
I don't know if it's Maggie, so I don't
No,
say
it's-
anything because I don't
yeah,
want to
who-
throw her under the bus.
Who can tell, right?
I
And
think-
he's going to make a dancing roll to see if he injures your feet.
Oh no.
Not bad. It's
Me.
not bad. Ooh, wow.
Hey!
We're right on
Well,
par.
Yeah, maybe there's some tripping involved for Thryn, which is unlike Thryn, but you still manage not to get clomped on by big Rectangle Man feet.
Cool. Thank you for the
Lauren,
dance.
Do you have a Maggie interjection?
Oh, I think this is just the point where while Thryn is dancing, and this is why they don't interact, is I think you see Maggie storm in from the gardens and head upstairs.
Mm-hmm. And then what's Lupa? When does Lupa exit the party scene or re-enter the ballroom scene?
I think it's definitely like well, nothing's happening. Everything seems fine. People are now going away to rooms, and I don't
Yes.
really want to know what's gonna happen after that. So we're just gonna go hang out in the garden for a little bit before I have to go back to my room and meditate.
Okay. Spoilers: the garden is also a bad idea.
I mean, Lupa doesn't know that. Lupa just like goes down the back,
Lupa's gonna find
immediately
out.
turns back around and like, nope.
Yeah, Lupa found out real quick. So with that, meditating in your room with as many like I just want to imagine like in my version, Lupa would be wearing as many like knit hats or sticking as many things in their ears as possible. But what are you gonna do?
Yep, just
Okay.
no sound allowed.
Yeah. Do we have more for Thryn to do at the party?
I think Thryn, seeing some people retire, I think she will also, after that dance, now that she's had like some nice dancing and some dancing, and which is which you can decide for yourself, because some was technically good and some was socially good. And I think maybe she'll get like another little plate of food to go. Like a nice, like just go raid the buffet, get like a nice plate of food to go. and a drink, and she'll drink the drink on the way to her room. And then once she's in her room, I think she goes into the closet and then teleports.
Uh-oh. Where are you going?
She wants to go back to the Pie and Beer Inn to see if that girl made it to the room that she's been keeping rented there.
And where exactly are you teleporting to? Into your room?
That's where she's gonna try.
Okay. So you just have to make your
Let's see.
spellcasting roll.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So it goes really well. And the reason you can tell it goes really well is you immediately hear the highest pitch scream you can imagine and someone falling off of a bed.
It's all right. It's just me. Sorry.
So.
And this is where she
let's,
brought the huge heaping plate of food for, of the fancy, nice food.
That's a good choice. That's real nice of you. I have to figure out which of these people it is. Give me a second here. There's a few NPCs in this game. And I have to remember which one I'm looking at. There we go. Perfect. Need to have some sort of face claim information. Otherwise, I can't tell who people are in this game. I just know that all of our NPCs are important.
They're all hot.
Okay. So here's the thing. In your room, there's a bed. Someone just fell off of it. There's also a goat. This girl sits up. She looks like she's much more clean. She's wearing like a nice new like tan smock type tunic and like leggings. She's got black hair that's pulled to the side and braided up, and she has a goat that is in the room. The goat is wearing a collar or like a lead that's made out of some sort of red braided cord. It looks like it's been hand braided, and the goat is fluffy and shiny and smells good, and the room smells good. And there is also most of a pie still left on the table and a large glass of milk. And she just looks shocked by you, and the goat says, "Meh."
Good, you made it. I said I'd pop in to check every now and then.
I didn't know you... But you meant you were actually going to pop in.
Yes, I did. And I also didn't mean to punch my microphone. Sorry, I heard anything weird. I brought this for you. And she'll set the plate of like, she didn't bring anything perishable like fancy pastries and stuff like the night like sweets, good like treats kind of things. She'll set that
So you have like
on the
candied
table.
nuts and stuff like that. And they're all placed down over here next to this very large pie that is also not eaten.
She'll be like, oh, good. So, I had some business I'm attending to in Novigrad. It's been a night, but I wanted to check
It's a
in on you and
very
see how
pretty
you were
dress
doing.
have.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm still wearing this.
I'm fine.
meant to change.
Arter's very nice. He's been bringing me lots of pie.
Good. I'll
I've
extend
got
the
the goat.
tab while I'm here. Oh, good. She'll give the goat a little like scritch. And then she'll go, I just thought that, remember when I told you you had chaos within you, magic, and we needed to learn how to control it. I figured since I have a bit of free time, start lessons tonight.
Okay.
All right, and so then I'll just kind of go over some very basic stuff, kind of just explain what it is, how it's harnessed, what to not do, and then just give her like some like meditation and breathing exercises and a feather to practice. Just a very simple levitation with.
Yeah, your magic training goes well. The goat does not interrupt.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
she'll just
productive evening.
stay for several hours until she starts to get really tired, and then she'll teleport back to that closet, or try to teleport back to that closet at least.
Okay, got it. And this
And,
girl's name is Corey, by the way.
Yep, Corey. And she'll also make sure give a little bit more money so she can extend the stay with Arter, and just tell her to stay here for as long as she needs to.
Okay, I'm gonna say we don't need any rolls or anything like that, and things just go good.
Okay,
Did my music die?
I will roll for my teleport back because I could get put a couple miles out and have to walk.
Flinched or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a reroll still, but hopefully I don't need to use it. I don't. We're good. Just back into the closet
The
and
music froze up.
Silas' parents in Novigrad.
Okay, So everything goes well, and we're
So
gonna
she's in a
now-
closet for a couple hours and comes back if anyone's spying on the room.
Yeah, nothing unusual at all. Just
Nothing
people
strange
staying in their
about that.
closet for a couple hours while time passes.
I mean, she did have to deal with
Let's,
Philip, so if anyone was paying attention to that, maybe that has something to do with it. But
That's very fair. That's very fair. That's how life works. Do we want to cut to the morning back at Igar and Iona's? Okay. Maggie, do you think you've returned at this point, or do you think you're currently spying?
I think she stayed out all morning until she's gonna meet up with everybody else after the conversation at the solemn writ.
Okay. Yeah, so we had a fairly early morning. Scylla and Lupa did their thing. They went off to go find out what Marjorie Albin wants. I think that was noon, wasn't it? That was supposed to be noon. So let's just cut to afternoon. Maggie's
Yeah.
seen the thing go
It's up
down
real
over at
late.
Fall Estate. Yeah. We've had things that happen in the downtime, and we can always cut back. I was told by Katie that Scylla is going to go investigate a different lead
Mhm.
and is off handling that while everybody else is doing this. So we're back, and it's a late luncheon at Igar and Iona's. Big table spread, cold chicken, fruits, things like that. So, how's it all coming together?
I think since it's like people are still probably waking up at this point if they stayed, Thrin's got on like pajamas and like a big fluffy robe over it, and that's what she's wearing to this late brunch thing, afternoon brunch.
Maggie looks like she hasn't slept. She's back in her usual gear.
Yeah, Lupa's back in their usual stuff, and they've been out already, so.
Okay. Igar is wearing a very short navy blue robe, and Iona is wearing like a knee-length dress that she looks like
No.
she actually woke up and did something, and Igar looks like he literally rolled out of bed and came into this room.
Cause Sila's dad's hot. Oh no.
Well, it's just something we're all gonna have to live with. So with that, as they're like eating, they don't seem to have very upright postures. Like anytime they're sitting in a chair, they're always like leaning on it or like lounging or like
Yeah.
man spreading in some sort of awkward way, something like that. So they've always got something weird going on.
Yeah.
So with that, they're at one end of the table, like sitting very close so their chairs are touching. And then all of you are at the other end of this like 15-person banquet table.
Eating some chicken.
Eating chicken.
Did everyone have fun at the party? I didn't see any of you there somehow.
Igar like elbows Iona, and Iona goes, "That happens a lot. That's oftentimes how things go. People come together. Sometimes they don't stay together."
I see. And she looks over at Lupa and then at Maggie. What about you two?
It was, eventful.
None of my evening plans came to fruition.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm just realizing, is fucking Juna with me? Because she had to,
Wait, that
she
would
had to
change
tail.
everything.
She had to tail, remember? She had to, who would she wish, did she go off with Scylla, or is she sticking with Lupa?
What do we want to do? How do we want this one
We
to go?
want her here.
Okay.
And we want to
Okay,
retcon
so-
everything that just no, we don't have to retcon it. It's just said differently. None of my evening plans came to fruition. Stare.
Looks at Juna.
That's fine. Juna gets up from her chair, goes over, takes a leg off the chicken, and like puts it on the plate like this. Walks back over, turns her chair around to sit in it like Captain America, and sits down. So, anyways.
Yeah, I think
I
Lupa just
see.
kind of gestures towards her.
Yes. It seems that it was very eventful and somehow I missed it.
How was your night?
I think there's like this little very, very brief like facial journey of like, oh. Fine. She's like, I ran into Philip of Redania.
Wait. I have to break in here. Okay, Lupa and Thrin have a bond, right? like an
Yeah.
actual metaphysical bond.
Uh-huh.
Was there a journey for Lupa as well on the other end of this bond
Oh,
last
I'm
night?
sure. I'm sure it was like both of them felt like just awkward. Awkward. Oh. Oh. And then just smooth sailing.
Yeah,
on
they
the-
both have both of them have spidey sense for each other.
Mm.
So it's not like direct sensation, direct feelings as much as it's something's up.
Yeah.
What's up?
They're feeling real awkward. What's up? Yeah.
True blood bonds.
Thrin expected that from Lupa because it's a big party, but I don't know if Lupa was expecting that from Thrin.
Yeah.
Yes, I've run into Philip of Redania last night. Right before the party started.
Is that a name I should know?
He's a bard.
Yeah.
He's the one that made
He wrote that song.
that song about.
Remember
Thrin.
that woman who was singing very poorly in the streets and was really pissed that him. That Philip of Redania.
He's
What?
he doesn't know how to take no for an answer.
I'm his muse, apparently.
You want me to kill him?
No, he's more just dramatic than anything. I think he just wants a very interesting story. I sent him inadvertently on a quest, so we shouldn't be seeing him for quite some time. I told him I was cursed.
Oh. That's nice.
So he's going to look for a cure, not in Novigrad. Probably not even in Redania because of the witch hunters. So
Mm.
he's going to go quite far away for quite some time. Potentially never see him again. So, yes. Then I went back to my room and thought about the pie and beer inn and had some meditation.
I think Lupa just kind of does the
Uh-huh.
nod.
Uh-huh.
Maggie just drinks her juice. So, you want to update us on gestures
Yeah,
in
Juna.
Juna?
Right. So, had a conversation with Marjorie Lavin. Essentially, Thrin, the reason why she's been trying to kill me for 50 years is because she promised it to somebody or somebodies that I'd be out of the picture, and
Who?
she won't say.
Are they
Anyways,
dead yet? Like, who are these people if she's still trying to kill you?
I think it's now more the I ruined her streak of successes. And anyways, we had a
That's why
conversation.
you don't try to kill witchers. Common sense, people. Eats eggs, eats omelet.
She said that she would forgive me for my transgressions. They don't actually do the
Right.
air
Uh-huh.
quote, but like
Yeah.
Is it with your
Yeah.
ears?
I think you can. I can't deliver it like it, but like you can tell from how you know Lupa that
Yeah, we can
there are
see the
heavy
air
air
quotes.
quotes around those.
Yeah.
If I
Maybe
do-
one ear just twitches a little bit.
yeah, if I do a job for her, and luckily enough, it is in Novigrad. Seemed like there's a
What's the job?
killer on the loose.
Oh, we
And then-
don't like killers. So,
As well as somebody who's been, or something that's been killing noble people.
Oh no, the tragedy.
It's affecting her business, as she puts it. So she wants me to deal with the Red Stole, whatever that thing is, and just stop it.
Point,
if your
Juna
stone is red, you
interjects
should
real quick.
really go see a doctor.
Juna says it's the ruby stole.
Oh, Ruby. Oh,
And when Juna
stone.
says that, Igar seems to have suddenly begun choking on his wine. I'm sorry. Dude, did you say you're going to find and fight the Ruby Stole?
We're just
Human perception check.
Okay, have fun with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
against the spy master.
I don't
No, that's
know.
good.
Thorn
Everyone knows
doesn't.
that.
Thorn has to try. You know. You never know. I could have crit like 3 times in a row.
Spoilers, I do like to roll fumbles, so who knows? Nope, we're good. You can spend the luck on it if you want.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna spin the luck.
Cool.
Success.
Honest fear and surprise is the answer.
Fear and surprise.
Igar's like wiping the wine off his mouth. He says, you're not going to just go around and just stop the Ruby Stole. There's been, I think, at least 11 deaths.
Mine, are you the Ruby Stone?
No, I'm not. This is going to get fairly complicated, I think. But there's a lot involved in this entire process. Have you heard anything about what's happening?
Just now. Please go on.
Juna like sits back in her chair and crosses her legs like she's about to listen to a
Are
story.
we playing
and Igar says,
footsie though?
I don't know. Are you?
Yeah, but I think she started it.
All right, that's
And at
fair.
first Maggie's
That's-
like, get off. And then it's like, maybe not.
Yeah, that seems right for this kind of vibe because she has an idea of what to expect at this point. She knows what she's walking into. So Igar says, well, the Ruby Stole is just like a story people have been telling for a while because there have been several noble women, usually like third daughters, fourth daughters, someone that's not as important. I'm not making that value judgment myself, just how people say it. And a few men, but they've just been usually found on a balcony, in a patio, somewhere where you should be inside your grounds and safe, and they're just dead. And the Ruby Stole's what they call it because they tend to be bleeding quite a bit.
How are they being killed?
Well, however you take blood out of a body and it's still there when they're done, just blood everywhere kind of thing, you know?
I mean, is it
know-
like claw marks? Is it like puncture wounds, slashes?
I've heard it described more like puncture wounds is the information I've had.
Okay.
Either way, Marjolavin doesn't expect me to kill or fight, just stop whatever it is.
Oh no, she expects you to get killed.
Yeah, I know.
Juna says, yeah, she just expects you to kill the thing or die. Either way.
I am very well aware of that, thank you. So either this is someone or something going on a rogue killing spree that's oddly targeted, or someone is orchestrating this and I don't know what at this point.
Look, Iona, what do you think? And Iona says, if it was us, this is like if you invited someone into your house and then they just happened to kill one of your guests or one of your family members while they were there. This is more like someone has a pattern of visitations and murders of people that are not technically important.
Seems a bit odd. And oddly specific.
Right, why
Very
would you
specific.
target the technically not important ones?
Exactly.
Iona says, well, if it was me, and if I was doing the killing, then I could make my point, but I could also continue making my point for longer, I imagine.
And then if you got a death threat from the Ruby Stole, people would take you seriously because you've murdered other nobles before.
There's a fair number of nobles who are worried about what could happen if they stopped killing inconsequential targets.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds so callous to say, but imagine if you had 4 daughters, and you only lost one of them. On the one hand, you're beset with grief, but on the other hand, aren't you so glad you still have 3 daughters?
Right. Either way, this is kind of my job. And actually, I think they pull out there's the sack to Maggie, the sack of coins that they got, and this is payment I mean, payment for the rest of you. If
Ah.
you're willing to be involved, my payment is clearly not being
It's-
killed.
Yes, of course. Definitely.
I will take the sack. I'll hold on to this.
I think Lupin just fixes Maggie with a glance.
What? Who need? Wait. I need coin. in case
Yeah,
I need
I
bolts.
think it's just a look and just goes,
I don't need coin, but I will help out.
Igar points out to Lupin, says, if you do manage to stop whatever's happening with this, there's a very good, I could probably add to that for you. What would be very helpful to me would be to have some idea of the reasoning why all of this is happening in the first place. If you had some information like that I could perhaps capitalize on, I would be happy to compensate you, and a large sum, just so for spending money.
yes, I mean, that's very generous of you.
Right, I suppose that makes sense, considering you only had the one daughter, right?
Well, this is more for pure business professionalism type information, but not that does not help. I don't want anything to happen to Sila either.
Yes. Could you perhaps provide a list of names of everyone and families of who has been murdered and when, since you seem to be quite knowledgeable about this?
He gestures to Iona, and Iona says, I have information, I'll find it.
Right.
I can analyze that. Maybe try to find some type of a pattern, see when and who he'll strike next.
Yeah. And Maggie, if you don't mind, we could just take a look. I know you're more familiar with cities and the such. Where we go look around and maybe go find the most recent cases and all that scenes.
So this is our priority.
If we don't want to keep being chased around while we're in Novigrad, yes.
I mean, I don't mind.
Juno will be with us. She's
She's
reporting
right here.
back.
She's leaning back in her chair. She's like, you could make this take a back seat, and I just have to stick around longer. If there's anything else you have to do.
I mean, if this is going to be a thing, might be affecting your family.
Well, as far as I know, none of them have been punctured to death.
Yet, I need to look at that list. I really do want to see if there's a type of pattern.
Iona says, how about I show you where the list is? We'll compile this together. You can take a look.
All right, yes, I'll probably be a little while. You two can
Yeah.
do whatever groundwork you do.
Maggie and Lupa together.
Mm-hmm. So Iona gets up and goes with Thryn to go collect this list and go over details of people she knows, and a magic blue screen covers up Thryn as... Anyways, all that happens on. Let's see. So let's talk about the Thryn, Lupa, Juna situation, and Igar's still there too. Igar says, well, if you need any more information, I might be able to find some of it myself. I have some contacts, and I have some records and so forth. If you know anybody who has a noble family, this might be a good place to start. Our family has been unaffected, but there are, several others.
Do you know, it was in the Gildorf area, right?
Well, I mean, this is Gildorf, right? So this could be almost anywhere around here you could find something, I think. By the way, you had invited some people, Sila had invited some people last night for the party that I'm not the most familiar with, but I do know one of them rather well. Do you know who Eleanor Vol is?
Yes.
She did make an appearance last night. She was here for a short while. Very nice, for a lady her age. She looks very good and beautiful, and very, very good talking to her for that time period.
What'd you talk about?
Oh, mostly. Oh, she looked good and beautiful, and I looked good and beautiful. Handsome, one might say. Other things we talked about. She was mentioning something about her son Egon. I don't recall where that went. Boring. And, she has a tragic story with her daughter. Have you heard about her daughter Magda? That's very, very sad. We didn't talk about much of substance really. I think we were mostly just flirting the whole time.
Great. That's good. I'm so happy for you. Where's... Looks at Lupa. Controlled.
Oh, I'll take a look. He might still be in bed. Lupa's gonna awkwardly get up.
Yeah, I think Maggie less awkwardly gets up, just kind of storms off without still eating the chicken.
All right, so the two of you storm off. Juna also storms off.
Yep.
Igar waves a hand in goodbye as that all goes on. You storm down the hall. I take it you're going back to Contralt's room, aka Gramellin's room. All right, the door is firmly closed.
I open it.
Right, it's like latched.
Do you want me to?
From far within the room, you hear, "I'm not interested. Go away."
I pound on the door. Oi! Open up!
Look, I really... Wait, is that Maggie? And you, from moving up, unlocks the door, opens the barest crack so you can see like a sliver of green eye.
I push
I'm
it.
not doing anything anymore. Oh! He falls back, head like this now as he opens the door. Look, they were doing things for quite a while. My hearing is unfortunately very keen. And there's all these secret passageways one can peep through. Not that I meant to do it, but I had to investigate, It's an impulse.
I don't care. Did you talk to Eleanor last night?
No, was Eleanor? I was here, in this room, all night. And like I said, unfortunately there are secret passages and I saw things there, and I don't want to relive that.
What you saw you?
What are you talking about?
You just ran away.
I didn't run away.
We had to plan.
There were people doing things. Did you speak to Eleanor last night?
No! I thought you were looking out for her.
I meant to. And then there were these two people, and they were right there in the hallway, and they were...
Why do we keep him?
Why do we go to parties like this? What normal people act like this?
We
in their
go
own
to
homes?
parties like this to do reconnaissance. And I start smacking him.
Listen, if we want to do reconnaissance, why don't we just go to the Vol estate? Then all the Vols would be there when surmises.
I've already been to the fucking Vols estate this morning.
Really?
Yes, and we are going to go there, but now we have to deal with Lupa's baggage. It's probably going to get us all killed, but that's fine.
What? Lupa, what have you done now?
We have a job. It's affecting noble families. Might also be affecting the Vols at some point. If we don't want to keep being chased around by assassins or interrupted, this is...
It had this Contralt points across the room. Isn't that one of the assassins right there?
Yes.
Your eyes are so keen. You've saved us.
So what you're saying is I am being criticized for staying in my room peacefully while you have had some sort of dalliance with an assassin, and you've been getting additional jobs like we have already finished the first job. Well.
You know what? You're coming with us. You're the bait.
Yes, I'm fair. That's fine. I'm here as bait.
Mm-hmm.
I actually already knew that was the case. Let's go. What exactly are we hunting where I am bait?
Hunting a noble killer.
Oh, so as a noble person, which I clearly am, now I'm also bait for a noble killer. Great. Excellent. Does this noble killer have a name?
The Ruby Store.
Oh, wait, what? The ruby
Don't tell me
store.
that. Don't tell me you know information.
Please don't be useful. That would kill.
This is
that would
actually
kill me.
No, I'm sorry. This is actually very unusual. This is one of those human things that I don't really get. Is it common for two human people that plan to couple to have some sort of scene in which one of them pretends to be something called a ruby stole and the other one lies down and pretends to scream? This might have been amongst the things I observed last night, and I was not.
They're role playing.
Yeah, you know what role playing is. We're all set for this, but
Are you sure they were pretending?
that's a no. There were sounds. I think this. We could look.
Show
but
us
I
where.
would prefer-
Show us where.
Well, he walks to the back of his room, and there is a panel that like slides to the side behind his bed, and you walk into this little it's got like a curved alcove, and in one of them you can see through two little holes in the wall that may happen to be exactly what Lindy was thinking about. So looking over there and looking into these little holes, there's like a big bed, and oddly enough, this bed has a whole bunch of red on it.
Oh.
See what I mean? Like that.
Oh my god. I think at this point, Lupa's just trying to figure out how to get into this room.
That's the best thing ever. That's the best thing ever. How do we get into this room?
How the fuck do we get into this room?
Well,
Oh
you want to go ahead and make a education roll, or no? Let's do a deduction roll. This is intelligence plus
deduction.
Let me figure out how to get into this fucking room.
12.
21.
That's better.
Well, I think you're going to figure it out. You just have to walk around one of those winding hallways that everybody's been seeing.
Okay, yeah, so Lupa, I think, is immediately storming
Uh-huh.
down that direction.
Yeah, so you go around and you find the room, and you get there about the time one of the maids gets there, and she says, "Oh, they were using this room last night. Let me just go in there and I'll get things all cleaned up."
Hold on. And I think Lupa will put a hand on her shoulder, and very polite, not in their mind politely, in her mind probably a little too shovey, moves her out of the way. Who was in this room?
Oh, I don't keep track like that. That's not a good idea.
And I think at this point they're gonna just spin around and open that fucking door.
Uh-huh.
Well, here's the good news. When you open the door, it's still occupied. And here becomes the most awkward scene possible. There is a bed. There is a large red spill across this bed. On the other side, there's a little dressing table, and there is a man sitting there in a very long, blousey shirt, and his crushed velvet jacket is sitting up on the table, and his tight leggings are still on him. He's very rectangular. Additionally to all this stuff, his arm is across his chest like this, and it's been wrapped up like it is in a sling. And he just kind of awkward grins because he remembers talking to Lupa about different buffet foods the other day. Nice to see you again.
Is there another person in this room, or just him?
Well, Juna marches into the room and begins looking through all the little alcoves and corners in the back, and then walks over to the bed, and in a way that maybe nobody else would be so forward to, picks up the sheets and sniffs them like this. She says, "That's not blood." He goes, "Oh, I will pay for the linens. I can definitely replace those. That's not a problem at all. Sorry to be. This is a little bit weird. Can I help you with this?"
What do you know about the ruby store?
And he's so beet red, blushing at this point. It's just. She thought it was she thought it was interesting. Is interesting the word for arousing? And it was just a game. Are there holes in the walls here? I heard a rumor that there were holes in the walls so you could see things, but I didn't think that was real. It was just a game.
I think Lupa just is so uncomfortable with this moment.
I mean, who was this lady who was so interested?
How bad is it if I don't know her last name?
That's fine. I don't really use a last name, so.
I think her name's Tinny.
Her name's what?
Tinny?
That's not what I heard. Alright. Okay.
I apologize for all this stuff. That's all of the things that you're having to investigate right now.
I think Maggie just starts, like, snort laughing.
Ugh, Slip was so upset.
We're just a little, and we got a little bit too, and he's like pointing at his slung arm. We had a little bit too much excitement last night. I think I've injured my arm rather badly.
I think at this point, Lupus is gonna kind of straighten up, and I think they never truly entered the room. I think it was very much like in the doorway. I think probably take the step back to not be in the doorway.
Juna just puts down the bed sheets and says, "This is just normal, weird, noble stuff."
Right. Yeah, no, we can go. Unless Control, there's anything you would like to get up close and personal with in here.
Absolutely not, but I suppose I will play the part of the detective. And he walks over to the man involved. He says, "Look, whose idea was this? Was this your idea or her idea?" And he says, "Well, it was her idea. I think she's got, it's kind of interesting to her. I don't know. I just went along with it. It sounded like when she was excited." And so he says, "All right, but you've heard the story. You know that this is what this is." He goes, "Well, I kind of heard the story, and I figured it out pretty quickly when she told me that I was supposed to stand there and pretend like I was stabbing her, but I didn't actually stab her or anything." And then he says, "And how did you do this to your arm?" He says, "I fell off the bed." And Control's just like pointing a finger. "This is why you shouldn't do things like this at all."
Yes, gosh. You're so right. So right. It's disgusting. Looks at the guy, not believing what she's saying, just taking the piss.
We're sorry to interrupt them. We're gonna go now. And Lupus kind of awkwardly waiting for their friends to join them because they're feeling really awkward.
Control points at him again angrily before he leaves. And Juna like strolls out at the end, making very clear eye contact with this person. Like, "I know what you did last summer," and continues on. So, with that.
Peace. Well.
Contra says, "Well,
yep.
I suppose that was useless."
Yep, that about sums you up, doesn't it?
Fine. So are we going to go see the balls? Is that what's next?
No, we're gonna go investigate the fucking serial killer.
Well, they seem to think it's not a very big deal, don't they? They don't really seem very concerned about it.
Well, it's probably because it hasn't affected them in particular.
Yes, well.
So, we're gonna find out whereabouts all this is happening and proceed from there.
Yep.
Fine. So Juna says, "Look, while your friend's still doing all this research, I've got some basic information. We can go hit some of these scenes."
All right.
So with that, Juna starts taking you all on a walk around the area of Guildworth, this like more noble district of Novigrad. I know that we had Maggie case the Vol residence in particular. Did you also successfully case this region of town?
I'm pretty sure I did.
I think you did too.
Yeah, and
So
that
with
should
that-
last for...
I think it just happens for a number of days, yeah. It's
Yeah.
for a while.
Oh,
So
equal
I think-
to their case area value, so 5.
So like 5 days. So you're doing real good. With that, I don't think Juno's showing you anything too big that you don't know, but she's like walking you around, and she sees like a big noble house that's set up behind a gate, large gardens, everything like that. And she says to you, "Okay, this is one of the places. This family's got like 3 daughters, and they lost the middle one."
Where did it happen?
I mean, again, I said I had some pretty basic information. I haven't actually been inside. I don't know.
Well, they might let a witcher inside to look around.
That's actually not a bad point. We do have one of those.
That we do.
Lupa's just like, okay, they're talking about me without talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, she was trying to kill you like yesterday.
Yes.
It's a process.
Right, so just walk up and ask about it.
Yeah, use your silver tongue to procure entrance. I think it'll go really well.
Very good, very good.
Lupa, we'll head up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll be there with you.
Yeah, I know. And we'll knock. Knock. Hello.
So you have to, of course, this is a noble house, so there is like a gate, and there are like gate guards. So you'll have to go speak to the gate guards first.
Perfect.
I don't think it's going to be a terribly gruesome process, terribly difficult. You walk over to them, and they say, "You're here to see the people of the house, huh? Who's here to see them?"
The Witcher Lupa and their companions.
And Gramelin like pushes through the middle, goes like, "And Contralt Vol of the Vol family." They walk up to the front.
I think we would like
back.
I
They come back and they say, "Lord Vol, they'll see you and your guests."
Yeah.
Your retinue. We gotta say retinue. It's gonna be better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your retinue. All right. So with that, you all walk forward, and you are meeting with the Lib family. Contralt actually says this as you start walking up. He goes, "All right, this family, they're the Libs."
How did you?
This is again an area where I'm fairly familiar with what we're doing.
Alright.
The father's name is Ibner, and the wife's name is Sana. Lord Lib and Lady Lib to you, non-noble types.
Uh-huh.
And as the door opens, Lord Lib starts looking towards you all, and he goes like, "Contralt Vol, I didn't expect to see you again." And he goes like, "Well, unexpected surprises are one of the great gifts of life. Shall we come in?" He's like, "Yes, come in." Walks you all over towards a little like seating area, like a salon.
What's this place like compared to Silas family's place?
So chaste and simple
I
and
love
like
it.
elegant, but not sexy at all.
Oh,
This
thank
is
goodness.
like homey. They're like the cottagecore version of like noble houses. So it's,
Cottage
like,
core.
everything's like exposed little arches and like little simple pillars with no embellishments whatsoever. And they walk you into a salon that has like large open windows with like black iron bars, like what's the term I'm looking for, like mullions. And then there's like a roaring hearth that you're seated by, and there's a little tea service. And so Lord Lib sits down. His wife is not there at this point. And
Mhm.
says, "Well, Contralt, Witcher, ladies, what brings you here?"
As part of my work, we're looking into the Ruby Storm, specifically on how to prevent further tragedies.
He has a sour mouth eating type, or a lemon eating mouth as he like puckers up. Well, it's of course very unfortunate, and we've already fallen victim to the Ruby Stole, which there's no reason to be shy about, but it's very unfortunate. Yes. I suppose we should offer you any assistance we can.
That's weird. He's being weird. I want to make a human perception check.
Okay, that's
It's hard to
fair.
tell whether this is noble
Right.
bullshit or something else.
So unfortunate that my daughter was brutally murdered. So unfortunate.
It's something we don't
humans are
want to
just
talk
weird.